Kyle 219. It's the 9th of October, and it's gonna be the coldest yet in this cold front. So I'm gonna go sit in the tree stand and see what comes through. So I'm gonna have to be really quiet going through here. There's absolutely no wind, no nothing, and it is going to be loud walking through here unless I got some moisture on the ground, which I hope I do, to kind of soften these leaves of getting back up into the tree stand and getting there. So I'm gonna spray down, suit up. I came around the corner. There is deer in the field. Whether they come my way or not, I don't know. So that's the big thing. So I'm gonna get ready, and then probably the next thing you see is when the sun comes up. Rogo 219. I got grunting out in front of me. It sounds like there's some deer in the field sparring. I can hear a clank of horns. Antler play. I've got 10 minutes before legal shooting light. You can't see anything back here, which really sucks. But that's a good sign that there's grunt and a little bit of antler tossing. Trying to be quiet, but the car is pretty loud. It was just a couple of burps. Burp, burp. And then a little bit of pushing. You can hear it out in that field. That was awesome. Alright. So, out in this field in front of me, there's a buck. He's running back and forth. He must be harassing some does. He's grunting really big. I can hear him. Like he's got to be halfway into that field. I got some stirring off to my right. I can hear it back there. But remember, on this hill, I can't see what's on the backside of it until it comes over. I'm going to try and leave the camera rolling a little bit, just in case it comes over that hill. Pine squirrel in back of me is really chattering pretty good. But he was right out here. When I first sat down, started putting my stuff away, got settled. Oh, you could hear burp, 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 going back and forth, back and forth. Then back over here, I heard a lot of running. So he's chasing does. Whoever he is, I can't see him because of the trees. I wish these leaves fell off because the closest grunt I heard was off here to my right, really close. Here comes some running. Dude, I should have brought the little tripod so I could set it up. Oh my god. Yeah, he's running back there. Somebody's sitting here at the tree stand, and right over here I see this big squirrel fight. Had to be at least 2 or 3 squirrels fighting right over here. Boom, boom, boom. All of a sudden, this big old foxy comes out. He's hopping along here. Boom, he hops on this tree right here. There he is. Dude, look how big this fox squirrel is. Big male. Look at this dude. Shot him in the face. Look at the nuts on this guy. I tell you what, boy. Even though I didn't see that big buck, getting this dude's a reward. I did him in with a Smith & Wesson Victory with a dead air mass silencer. Shot him right off that tree. He was over there giving the gray squirrels hell, so I just took their nemesis. Let that be a lesson. Jeez.
Well, the highlight of today was, of course, that fox squirrel. That's what it was. I'm very big fox squirrel, bigger than my arm, which I'll take that. That's the second one I've shot like that. I shot one the other day when we went kind of dove hunting, squirrel hunting, because those seasons intertwine with each other, plus deer season. So you got 3 seasons that intertwine with each other, which is fantastic. But shot him with my Smith & Wesson Victory with a threaded barrel and what is it, the Mask HD suppressor that I bought from Armory 219. Not a sponsor, but they really hooked me up, and I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed shooting this can. It is quiet on the guns that I use it on, and this fox squirrel had no chance. There's 2 other little gray squirrels fighting among each other. Well, he comes down this tree. I watched him come down this tree off in the distance, and he made his way all the way to these 2 squirrels. He whipped one, chased it up the tree. He came down. The other gray squirrel didn't. And the other gray squirrel was smarter than that one that got chased up the tree, and he already boogied. And this guy's just walking, literally walking like, yep, I whooped you. And he got on that tree, and I shot that squirrel dead square right in the eyeball, out the other side. So it was a hell of a shot. I probably would have got 3 trillion views on that shot, but it's kind of focused on putting meat in the freezer. But it was a hell of a shot. But that was the highlight of the day, other than the buck burping. He was burping all the way down one side of that field, all the way down the other. He chased some does. I heard him scampering way back off there. If you guys watch the channel a lot, way back off the right hand of that tree stand, and I can't see what goes over that hill or goes down into that valley. So it's pretty much a done deal until it comes over there. And I was hoping he chased some of them does or something, because they're going to be focused on them. And, they're going to be, their heart's going to be pounding a little bit. They're going to be looking at the pressure that's in front of them, and not look at the pressure that they just walk into, which is me sitting in my tree stand right in that spot broadside. That's money. But I watched him even to the point where, I don't know if I said it already, but he chased these does onto the road, and you can hear people honking at him because he's chasing those does so far down the other field that he's pushing them across the street onto the roadway. And you can hear people honking and hooting and hollering. I heard a guy yelling at him. And he comes back down into the field, comes back down in the far end of the woods because I heard him hop in there, and he hopped out, and then he started burping again. And I'm going to tell you, I don't care if you're a professional hunter, you're one of these people that are paid or whatever, you've hunted billions of places, shot billions of animals, I don't care. Weather will change these animals' persona so quickly. Watching them transition from spring and summertime feeding and deer activities to what they're doing right now is really hard. And it only gets harder here in the state of Indiana for me, because unlike my neighbors to the north and the east and to the west, I can't bait. So when I tell you it only gets harder from here, it does, because then you start dragging into the winter months. The only time it gets easy is when the alfalfa goes dormant, beans and corn are cut and done. There's nothing else laying in the field. All the birds have picked what they wanted, the deer and the other critters. that go in there and picked everything up, and then fields are done and they till them and it's done. That's the only time you get lucky, because then it becomes, a lot of acorn, hardwood, stuff like that, and then you're food plotting. Then they start hitting food plots at that point, especially come in my area anyways, in December. I've been hunting in December, I've eaten deer tags and not shot a deer. December is really tough to hunt. Some people love it. Me, I'm not a big fan of it, because if the food plot doesn't survive and the acorns are gone, there's nothing but you're hoping there's hot does in the area, or you use some kind of trick stick, as I call it, that you get off the shelf for scent. I mean, there's really nothing more you can do when you get that far into December and January in that spot. And up here we get lake effect snow, so you could, one day you can get 2 inches of snow, the next day Lake Michigan can drop 4 foot on top of you. I mean, and then that really hinders deer movement. I mean, they move, but they ain't gonna be moving quickly. And if they find a nice cush spot that's cleared out for them, they'll stay there until the weather either softens up, or they rest and regain a little bit of energy, and but then they have to find food. Food plotting is something that is necessary, and I've seen it in the future, and I've done a little bit here. I've thrown a little bit of seed here. I've put blocks out, but food plotting is really dynamic, especially talking to this guy that comes into my store, and he's a biologist, and he's a farming biologist, which is really cool, or farmologist. I don't know what you call these people, but he knows about food plots, and what I've done that he's told me to do has worked. So I don't know. Maybe he's just lying to me. I don't know. People are weird, but he's a cool guy anyways. So food plotting is the next thing. When you guys are looking at that and you're seeing that grass come up, that grass can get to about almost 3.5 foot through there if they quit eating it. But I'm telling you, leaving the other night, because I did an evening hunt, I seen so many does in that corner field by me. I got to shoot another doe. There's nothing you can do. And then the bad thing about that is I have to pick one of these yearlings, because there was tons of fawns. I ran into 4 separate groups of fawns. I'll put one here because they've been in the food plot. And this afternoon, when I got down out of my tree stand, went and touched up the mock scrape just a little bit. Didn't pull any cameras. Didn't want to be back there just tracking scent anywhere. Just to fix the mock scrape a little bit, because the squirrels, that's why I shot the squirrels. The squirrels were in the mock scrape. They're climbing down the vine and everything. Just go away and, dispatch them. But, I was doing all that to hurry up, get up, and go. And I'm telling you, that it's going to be probably hard winter. Looking at what the people in the South are dealing with, and I'm like, man, it's probably going to be a pretty harsh winter up here. We had 2 mile winters in a row, without just the blizzard aspects, but it would blizzard for 3 days, and then it would be 60 degrees, 4 more days later, and everything starts melting. It was really mild for the last few years, but this year I think it's going to be a little bit more harsher than it was last year. I think we'll get a lot more snow, and again, that just makes it harder. It makes it harder on these animals to move and travel. I mean, I don't know if you are like me, but I've walked through a field with about 1 foot of snow. Walking out on public land, it's tough. And, it's no different for these deer. They're lucky they got 4 legs. You only got 2. So, again, nothing like super, super duper exciting. It is cool to hear the grunting. I know there's bucks there. Now, are these other bucks, them small ones? And I don't know if I said this, but I'll throw it on here, the pictures of the other bucks that came and visited us through the times I was doing my camera pull. They're out of velvet. They look like good animals in the next 5 years, but they're nothing I want to shoot at this point. Was that him? Was that the big guy in the field running these does? Could be. That's where I've seen him run does before. I will say this. There is hope. Seeing that deer on opening day when I was going to the tree stand for a split moment, the split moment in time that I have, and then hearing this guy in a spot where I've seen the big guy run and push does to this back corner, could be him. It could be him. I mean, it wasn't, the grunts that I heard were almost like running grunts. They weren't like he was physically running after these deer and grunting. Wasn't like the loud burpity, raspity one you get like if a deer is standing still or not. If you ever heard grunting in the wild, it'll catch you off guard. Like I heard the bleeding on opening day of that fawn getting lost and the mom locating her baby, and they booked out of there in the morning. But I mean, it's really cool to experience that stuff, and I wish people could get out more and experience that and watch the dynamics that your groups of deer are doing, and then you wouldn't think of them so much as dumb animals. I'll tell you right now, I even threw in a rattle today, a light rattle, just a light one. You know, after I heard this guy, and he kind of, I let it go for a minute. And, you know, I'm looking down at my thing, and I'm like, oh, it's been 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to throw a grunt. So I start throwing grunts the last time of where I heard him. You know, he could be already across the field into the other set of woods way back there. But I just said, to hell with it. I know there's a buck out there. So it ain't like I'm basically blind calling at this point. I just grunted a little bit real loud back in through there just to let him know maybe there's another deer here, and then I just let out just on my rattle bag, just holding it and just running my hand over it, not like crashing it together, just like a little sparring session two deer were having. Nothing that came of it, which it is what it is. Maybe a deer came in, smelled me, you know, and just didn't feel comfortable. I don't know. And that's another thing I'll end with is going there and watching these deer and where they're going. I know what they're doing. Again, I think, you know, people can do what they want, but I know the hay bales are too tight together. And I'm not going to bother this farmer. He's got better things to do than listen to some dude whine. But, you know, I hope soon enough, you know, somebody buys his hay and starts opening up gaps in that hay bale, because I know those deer are it's like they're coming to where they go into, and then they're splitting around, and then that's how I have to catch them in that pinch point. If I don't catch them in that pinch point, they're gone. This morning I rolled by and I seen 5 deer in this pond, drinking out of this pond, and one of two things: they already went through, or they're going to come through. That's it. And they'd already went through. And that's the dynamics that you see of the shift of the weather. Like it was 38, 40 degrees. That's why I wanted to hunt this cold front, because all that weather down south is starting to creep up here, starting to create those colder conditions at night. But you can tell as soon as the temperature hits 55, 60, 65 degrees, everything shuts down. Even the squirrels stop coming out. You know, they had enough in the morning, you know, running around gathering their stuff and doing their things. And there was a good lull in the between there. I would say out of the 4 hours, about a good hour and a half was a lull until there was actually wildlife present again. And that's when I shot that fox squirrel. So it is what it is. I put another lump in the freezer, as they say. Hopefully it'll be the big guy next time. I like to thank each and every one of you that comes to the channel, that participates by commenting, and subscribing, becoming a channel member. Don't forget, channel memberships are available. I greatly appreciate it. Some of the things that we do here on this channel is because of you. That's it. We have no sponsors. Nobody gives us anything. Majority of it all comes out of my pocket, or what people are willing to donate from their kind hearts into the channel, and I greatly do appreciate it. So tomorrow I'm going to go out in the morning. So you'll either get that video on Thursday, or that will be your Friday video. Like always, we'll catch you on the next one.